Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fic and Fiction, a magical bookish podcast for chaotic story goblins like us. This week, we're diving into another author spotlight with one of Crimson's very first book talk besties, S.J Taylor. In her debut trilogy, she created a web of intrigue set in the sumptuous town of New Orleans, wrapped in the trappings of romance and the French Mafia. We can't wait to dive into the world of danger by association with her, and maybe grill her for details about Book 3. As always, we're your hosts, Crimson,
Molly,
and Emmy.
Hey,
Hello.
besties.
Hello, girlies.
Hello.
How are we this week?
We are doing well. Huge welcome to SJ. Do you prefer we call you SJ or Suze?
Whatever you prefer.
Welcome to the podcast. We are so excited to have you.
I am happy to be here. I'm excited to find out what the burning questions are I've heard so much about.
Yes, I did maybe forewarn Suze that Molly had a lot of questions for her and maybe was planning on beating some answers out of her.
Well, you know,
Welcome to try.
yeah. You
So,
haven't been kidnapped or anything, you know, like certain people, and we're not going to beat the answers out of you like certain people. But we've got questions. We need answers, okay?
I've got every answer, so
The question
I'm not
is
going to
whether
give
you'll
them
give
all
them
to
to
you.
us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so normally what we do is we first talk about how our week has been and what we've been reading. So I think we're going to do what we normally do. I'm going to start with Molly. How has your week been, babe?
I am in an Easter break coma.
Coma.
Pretty much, yeah.
Lovely.
I've got 3 weeks off from work for the Easter break because God knows why. And then I go back to work for a week, and then I'm not in person until October. So I'm just kind of in this lull where I don't have to do anything.
Nice.
But also dreading the inevitable fact that I do have to go back to work for a bit at some point. And I've been hiding that dread in monster romance.
Yes.
Love.
Wholeheartedly approve.
Yeah, so I am on the last book, at least so far, in Lillian Lark's Monstrous Matches series, and I'm over halfway through the last book.
What monster is the last book?
It's a throuple. Between a half gargoyle and a demon and a witch.
Yes. Amazing.
And it's also a marriage of convenience and a bodyguard romance.
I love that. Those are like some of my favorite tropes.
It's fantastic. I have to say that book 4, was it book 4 or was it book 5 or was it book 6? Oh shit, I don't know. It was a book. It was a book. It was a book.
I hope so.
Hoarded by the Dragon.
Oh,
And he was a dragon, and that one made me rethink everything in terms of my life choices.
wow.
But
As in,
it was
you should
excellent.
have found a dragon, or
100% would have if within the realms of possibility. You know, I'm happily married, but dragon.
Yeah.
Cool.
I get that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been reading. And making my way through Queen of Shadows for our read along, naturally.
Nice.
You're so far ahead. Like
I
you
am.
are
I'm like
really so far
speeding.
ahead.
Yeah.
You are.
And then there's me.
How's Iron Flame, Crimson?
Oh, well, if we must talk about it, then we can. So I have not made any progress on Iron Flame since we last filmed. I did make like 2 chapters of progress like that day, but then since then, no. She's a she right now, and she is sitting on my dining room table, staring at us wistfully. I did. Oh, go ahead.
Is she well rested? That I get. Like, does she get her 9 hours of sleep? Have you taken her out
She
for her
is.
daily walks? Is she
She
wearing
is.
sunscreen? Is she protected?
She is so well rested. I can't even
Oof.
tell you. Actually, she had a very important job this past weekend. So, this last week for me was just absolutely insanely busy. I don't know where I thought I was going to have the time to read anything that was on my list because I had a team building at work from Tuesday to Thursday. And what that tends to entail is going to work at 9 a.m., being at the office at 9 a.m., and not returning home till midnight or later because you have to socialize and do the activities, and it's a lot.
Gross.
And
I'm disgusted.
Gross.
especially now that I'm management,
Not a
I feel
fan
like I
dude,
should
then.
set a good example. So, yeah, I was very tired from that. And then literally Thursday night, my friends who live in Edinburgh showed up in Paris to visit us. And they were here until the next Monday night. So that was like a whole week basically where I just didn't do anything but socialize, first professionally and then with friends. And anyway, during the visit with friends, we did a cruise on the Seine, which was very lovely, a dinner cruise. And at these dinner cruises, they always send by a photographer to take pictures of everybody, and then you can buy them at the end. And it was our friend's birthday, so I bought the pack of pictures. And when I got home, they were just the teeniest bit curved because we had been traveling in the rain and I was holding them close to my body and it was humid. So Iron Flame's job this week was to flatten out those pictures, and she did a wonderful job.
Go
Wonderful.
Iron Flame.
proud.
She is the honorary fourth member of this pod.
I just love that we've given Iron Flame this whole like identity, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's her own girl now.
she's a bad bitch. We love her.
She is a bad bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, so the only book I got any reading done with was actually The Price of Protection, The Price of Innocence by S.J. Taylor, who is with us today. Because I was trying to get through the books before this pod, but unfortunately, my life doesn't like me, so I'm actually not finished with either of them. However, I'm having the best time and super in love with Marius, and I've got I'm reading too slowly compared to normal because I am highlighting so many little quotes in my Kindle.
Aw.
So
I love that though.
I'm really yeah. I recently highlighted when he said I need to drink the sludge water. I thought that was just delightful.
That
So-
reminded me of you, Crimson. Whenever I read that, I was like, "That's
Aw.
Crimson."
Yeah. That's me. So yeah, I've been having fun with what I've been reading, but I still am not, but I'm feeling finally mentally ready. I know I've kind of been saying that for a couple episodes now, but I'm like, if life would just get the hell out of the way, I am so ready to just plow through a bunch of books.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is Iron Flame on that list?
it's in the list somewhere, okay? I'm not going to tell you it's at the top. I'm not going to lie to you. So I want to know, now that you've had a couple of examples of how it goes, Suze, how has your week been? What have you been up to?
Well, I am a mom of 3 and I homeschool. So I basically wake up and wash my face and down as much coffee as possible. And then I school 3 children who have trouble taking turns talking. So I'm doing it all at once. And then I start marketing my book and pretend that I know what I'm talking about. And that is why last night on a Wednesday in the middle of the week, I had some adult juice. But in positive news, we've had sun for the first time in Michigan, and I finished
Nice.
3 books, and I haven't
Ooh.
finished a book in so long, but stress and things have really just helped that along. So we appreciate that. I finished a big thick one, John Gwynn's Malice, which was it's a good time. If you like epic fantasy that feels mostly just like medieval. That's pretty much what it is. And then I read, so Anne Marie Meyer has a book called Lucky Charm that's basically was inspired by Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. And
Ooh.
it's fake dating, but it's barely fake dating. It's more they want to date and they fake date for a second and all of a sudden they're so it's very obvious what's coming, but I thought it was really cute and it was a great palate cleanser.
Aw.
Slow.
Yeah.
I love it.
it's a good
I
time.
love it. I love a Taylor Swift reference in a book. Like,
Me
Yes.
too.
yeah.
I live for it.
Basically, the only similarity there is that she's also a singer, but it was inspired by her. So,
Yeah.
I love that.
And what was the third one? I only heard 2.
what was the third one? It was another romance. I know it was.
Another palette cleanser.
It
It was
was.
a
So
romance.
John Gwynn's book was like, I was like, I can't read the second one yet.
Hefty.
Was it?
Yeah.
I read another one. I don't know. I really could not tell you the answer to that.
Memorable then.
Yeah.
Super memorable. I'm reading one on my Kindle right now, but I'm not gonna. It's the it's one of those.
Yeah.
It's fine.
One of those ends.
One of them. Not even
One of those. One of those. One of those. One of those.
I don't know what you're talking about,
Oh.
but I'm sure it couldn't possibly be
One of
just
those.
like that.
It's one of
So.
those. It's one of those.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
It's one of those.
For any of the listeners who are not watching the YouTube, Molly has just dragged her Kindle across the screen to show us her current spicy good time read.
Yep.
It was basically all about church and making good choices. So,
Making a
Huh. I've read a book or two like that.
I've read one of those.
Yeah.
wait, I take it back. I
Yeah.
take it all back.
We all know how to be a good girl in church.
It's so
Don't we?
wholesome.
So
If my father ever hears this, I'm so sorry.
We said it, not you. It's fine.
That's
It's-
right.
yeah,
I
it's
still
all
make
good.
wise choices, obviously.
I
the
don't.
wisest. Not us though.
Not this again.
Emmy, how has your week been?
My week has been pretty good. We had like the most amazing weather last week. It was like summer. Every day I was out like going on like a 5K walk after work every day. It was wonderful. This week is like cold and wet, and last week I ordered all of these nice shorts and now I can't wear them because it's freezing. I'm still teaching this week.
Gross.
The same sort of like class as the last couple of weeks, so there's not much new there. I don't know what I even read this week. I started Air of Fire
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a book behind in the rereads, but it's fine. It's all
It's
good. I
fine.
read like
It's
200
fine.
pages today though, so it's fine. I'll probably finish it by like Saturday, probably.
You'll kill it. It's all good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing pretty well because I read both of Suze's books in like less than 72 hours.
So fast.
Yum. Yeah,
Hey,
that
that's
was.
exciting.
The second one was in like one sitting, so it was a really good time. I can't wait.
It did do that.
Yeah.
It's a really
Other
good.
than that, I'm trying to think. Oh, Molly, I finished Keeping 13.
Yes, like, did you cry? I cried. I cry
sat
like
for
a baby.
60% of that book. And then at the end,
Yeah,
when that character shows up,
yeah.
and now I'm like, oh, because I'm doing that book buying ban thing where I can't open any of my packages because I know that it's in my packages. For Suze's sake, I'm doing this like a ban thing where I'm trying to see how much of my physical TBR I can get done by my birthday in September. So I'm allowed to like pre-order books or buy books that I'm in the middle of the series, or I'm allowed my fairy list subscriptions, but I'm not allowed to open the packages till September, so I can see how many of my actual lists I can get through. And I know that like
Saving and
Is it
keeping 7.
is it Saving 6 or is it? Oh no, they're both 7, right?
Mm-hmm. And then the last one.
I'm
Or was
gonna
it
avoid
6
the
and then
next
7?
one.
They're numbers.
No, I don't. No, I think because it's her brother first. and
It's
then
her
the
brother,
next
and
book
then
is
it's
Gibbsy then,
Gibbsy.
right?
Yeah.
Have you
I-
seen that there's another one coming out?
There's the new one coming out, which I have seen, but I do have to I just have to. I know it's like sidetracking immensely. Do you remember that TikTok sound where it was like, I know it's a fucking baby?
Yeah.
Sorry for my poor Irish
What
accent.
the fuck is that?
It's a baby. Do you remember this? You know which scene I'm referring to in the second book, right?
Yeah.
That's all that went through my head the entire time.
I just can't believe he did that.
Icon. I'd do
It was
it.
just like, I'm just gonna take that.
Take,
And also
take
that.
That and that.
And I'm just gonna take you. It's fine.
Time for McDonald's. Let's go.
I'm getting arrested. Yeah. Vibes.
Oh well. Anyway, those two don't have any idea what we're talking about.
No.
They're just like, yeah, okay.
Sure,
Yeah.
babe.
I started the
yeah,
second book in that series, but I did not finish it yet.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, I really don't know
That's what I'm
anything.
gonna
There
say.
were not real spoilers there. It was like, I can't believe I know. What? I know it. That's about all I got.
Yeah. I don't think anyone is going to get any spoilers out of anything that was.
At some
Anyone
point,
who's read it will know.
Yeah, and at some point, the three of us have managed to understand what the other is talking about without actually bringing it up. Like, actually mentioning the specific thing we're talking about. We're like,
This happens a lot. Yeah. This happens a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. That's how the week went.
So, Danger by Association. For those who don't know, Danger by Association is a new adult trilogy. The first book is The Price of Innocence, and it is set in the beautiful city of New Orleans. And it involves Celine Bouchard, who is a senior in high school who has just moved back to New Orleans from Prince Edward Island, where she was living with her aunt because she had some trouble, some behavioral stuff a couple years prior. So she moves back home to New Orleans to move back in with her dad. And around the time she does that, Marius Gray is also moving to New Orleans from France. And Marius, it turns out, may or may not be the head of a French criminal organization. And so basically French Mafia. And there's a bit of a power struggle going on with him and his uncle, who is running in his stead until he's old enough. And we don't know why he's in New Orleans, but we know it has to do with business. And we also know that he and Celine can't seem to stay away from each other, even though they're kind of convinced maybe they should. But not so much. But they seem to be going back and forth where I am in the book. A little bit.
Tragedy.
And it's giving intrigue. It's giving, she doesn't know like what's up with him. She knows she feels safe with him, but doesn't know, like, she knows there's something more to him and maybe something a little bit dangerous. And she's just trying to figure it all out. And so far I am living for it. And let me know, did I miss anything in our synopsis that we should reveal? I don't want to give away.
She has the sassiest best friend, and he has a bodyguard that
I love. Andre.
Andre is a babe, but if he was hired by any other mafioso, he would be alligator chow. He is. He
would not be there.
No.
I don't think that's been revealed to me yet.
He is a sassy boy.
Oh,
he's a very sassy 100%. Boy.
He's very sassy.
Yeah. I have been threatened under pain of many different things that if he does not make it through the trilogy, my life will befall tragedy as well. So
yeah, kill off anyone else. Just Andre has to live. I don't care.
Anyone else?
Anyone else? Literally anyone else. Just not Andre.
Okay. We'll see. Well,
now you've given some ideas, and I don't think you're gonna like where they go.
Don't speak it into existence. What the fuck's wrong with you?
So here's what I love. Just book 1 and book 2, you'll notice like the back of the books have this like pretty decent sized synopsis, giving you just like who are the main characters? Where are we? Where is this kind of heading? Give me like a question that we're going to answer in this book. And I intentionally kept the synopsis for book 3 down to like 4 or 5 lines. Very short, very small. And if you don't mind, I will actually read it to you if you're willing.
Oh, please read to me.
We're so willing. So willing.
Read to me.
So no spoilers in it because that was a big thing for me too. I didn't want anybody to ever pick up the 3rd book and get all these spoilers. So just for those who haven't read this far. The price of innocence was paid. The price of innocence was paid in loss and mistrust. The price of protection was paid in grief and blood. But sometimes it is the price of loyalty that is the hardest to bear. It's time to find out if the final price to be paid will be worth the sacrifices required.
I just I don't even know what happens in book 2, and that makes me so nervous. I'm so nervous.
I swear to the
so nervous.
Book 3 as a whole,
you
it's
have some explaining to do.
Oh, I sure do. I sure do.
Okay, I do have some actual questions though for you as the author.
Lay 'em on me. Respectfully.
Okay. Before we get into the nitty gritty of like the story and all the details, I have questions really about the premise because I think you have one of the more unique premises for a book or for a series that I have seen out of an indie debut author. Like the fact that it's like Mafia, but it's not immediately dark, violent romance, and the fact that it's like Mafia, but it's actually not like Italian Mafia, it's French Mafia, and like, but then we're also like in this different locale, we're in New Orleans, and so like not only is the FMC like being thrown off kilter by everything, which is so common in Mafia books, it's really that like she's a little bit more grounded in the world she's in than the MMC is because he's totally new to America. And they're both struggling to find their place in the world. Like, how did you come to this concept of doing French Mafia in New Orleans?
So New Orleans was very, very easy for me. When I thought of a place that I loved, that I thought would be fun to write about, that also has a lot of propensity for darkness, New Orleans immediately came to mind. Because if you've never been there, you go and it's gorgeous and it's so diverse in culture and architecture and food and everything. It's so beautiful. But as soon as the sun sets, it's like a whole different world. It's just like you walk outside and you're like, I feel like I shouldn't be here by myself right now. Like it's just a whole other world. And it's got all these like haunted lore story. Like there was everything about a story that I could want in the feeling of New Orleans. So that was pretty easy. That was really just based in the place that I love. Why I went French Mafia over like Italian or Irish or anything like that. I've always loved French, the French culture. I'm throwing things. It's fine. But also I thought that set really well into the, there's a lot of like native French speakers in New Orleans. And so it just kind of fit into why Marius Gray would show up in New Orleans as opposed to somewhere else to, find a hubbub for, making these connections to people that are going to help him get back on track and get back to his home in Lyon for taking over his rival and all that fun stuff. No spoilers. That's obviously all part of the premise there. But the overall premise came out of this one singular idea. And it was, I wanted to write a chapter that had 0 dialogue. And it would involve 2 characters that were very complex, very emotionally intelligent, but also with a lot of traumatic things that made it difficult for them to convey their thoughts and their feelings to one another. And so basically out of that, I said that I know immediately it's going to be a dance scene. They're going to dance and they're going to communicate to one another. And all I had to decide then is, who are these two characters? Why are they so complex? And why can't they communicate? And from there, the whole story laid itself out. So that scene is not actually until towards the end of book 2, Crimson.
It's beautiful.
It
by
is
the way.
gorgeous. It's stunning.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun. I thought too often, sometimes in books, I get exhausted with dialogue. And I thought, what if we could write a chapter that had so much communication, but zero dialogue? What would that look like? And so that's
so good. It was amazing.
That's what I based it off of.
There's so much emotional intelligence that happens in that scene, but also in book 2. So without giving any spoilers, you definitely see a development of the characters, and I think the way that you set up book 1 was really effective in that way, in that it's definitely more, how do I explain this? It's definitely more from a perspective of young people in the first one, because we know that they are teenagers. It takes place in a high school, or amongst high schoolers. But book 2 is kind of, it's moved away from that entirely, and both characters have gone through quite a lot at that point. And they have started to develop more as human beings, shall we say, as you do once you get out of high school. You start to become more aware of yourself emotionally and be able to understand and process things in a completely different manner.
Yeah. So I was hoping that overall the series would start out feeling very, not in a mean way, but I wanted it to start out feeling safe and then grow darker and heavier as the series went on. The characters themselves, actually, most of them represent different emotions to me. So you'll notice that Marius, typically he's very calm, he's very calculated, he's got an idea of where he's going in life, but when he gets upset, it's kind of unhinged, right? And so he kind of represents anger and how it can be very subdued. Me, myself, like, I can keep that subdued for a long time, but as soon as I get angry and that comes out, like, it's very different. And so I was like, basically, I want to take all of these emotions of not that age where you necessarily just become an adult, but where you kind of go from thinking the world is one way to realizing that there's a whole lot more complication in every decision than we would, typically think. Like when you're 17, 18, 19, you see a lot of black and white and you're just like, I know all these things because I'm an adult now, right? But really on the other side of that, there's gray. There's a whole lot of gray, and really it's not about right and wrong always, but about your perception and opinions of how that relates to your life. So that's where Celine comes in. She is that exact thing. She's got the moral dilemma going on, constantly fighting within her mind and within her heart, the war between attraction and her belief and what is morally upright or wrong. Yeah. and somebody say, who cares about morally right and wrong? Just get them together already. I was like,
no, but I think, I mean, I can see the seeds of it already where I am. Like, I think it's really interesting, especially with Celine, the way you've written her in such a way that we really see her process of like slowly shifting what's like acceptable to her and like making conscious choices to not dig deeper or to not look at the things that are like probably shady about Marius. So but I think that that's really interesting that like because I think I've read a lot of books like sort of in genres adjacent to this where like they just don't notice. And then like I love that you're having her notice, like she sees the details, she sees the threads that she should be pulling on to find out what's really going on, and she's consciously choosing like, I don't want to touch that because that's going to make me feel less safe. And I think that's really interesting to see.
I was so frustrated by that, like that in the first book, obviously, because she does definitely go through a lot towards the end of the first book, and definitely the second book, in that her perspective changes. But we also learned that it's kind of in her nature to pick things apart, but she doesn't want to do that in regards to Marius. She'll do it in everything else, but not Marius.
Oh, I identify with that.
I'm just
so
like,
hard.
oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. Like, can you tell I relate to that personally?
Yeah. That's that you could have ripped that from my life, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like having the one person that like is doing things that you should be looking at and you're like, nope, I don't see it. What do you mean? Like, yeah.
But her bestie's like, red flags, that's a red flag. And she's just like, no.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite parts about the whole thing, was like, Quinn is like, what's wrong with you? Like, stop it. Look at this. This is ridiculous. What are you doing?
No, I'm like annoyed. I'm like
she's
annoyed
also
with
like-
Quinn. I'm like Quinn is being a good friend right now, and I'm like, just leave it
Stop
alone.
being such a good friend. Let her make bad decisions.
Besties support each other with their bad decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Remy's like, hell yeah, make those bad decisions.
I know.
Yeah, I'm
He's
with Remy.
Remy he may be my favorite character. I adore Remy. He's the like to Celine, obviously he's like very brotherly, and I don't feel like this is a spoiler. Like his whole vibe is supposed to be like super fun. He's comic. He's like the realest character in this entire series.
Yeah.
He always shows exactly what you're gonna get in him. Like he never pretends to be anybody else but exactly who he is. And I'm like, I love that so much about you.
I also love that he is willing to just like be the like I love that Marius will say something totally ridiculous and off, like just crazy, and he'll be like, you don't sound like a normal person, right? Like,
Yeah.
Are you aware?
Are
like,
you good, pal? Like, yeah.
Like, you're not actually stalking my friend, right? Like,
Right,
That, like,
right.
continues into book 2.
It does,
good.
and they
I can't
bounce off
wait.
one another. Andrea,
Because they have the funniest like bromance ever.
I love their bromance because they're so different. Like, it's so like it's like water and oil, but in the cutest way.
And in
Just,
book
like,
2, you get to see Remy and Andre kind of bounce off one another.
Yes,
so
I can't
fun.
wait.
Like tag
They're
team
so fun.
Marius. It's great.
There's
Love
a
them.
bit in the book that
Yeah.
I can't explain it too much without giving spoilers, but it involves the 3 boys are there, and
Does it involve the adult juice?
yeah,
It's adult
yeah,
juice, yeah.
like on the floor, and the
Oh,
other
boy.
two are dying. Love it. It's like one of the best scenes in the whole book.
Yeah.
I like was actively cackling, and Alex was sitting next to me, and he's like trying to do his final uni essay of the year, and he's like, "Shut up."
No, I'm too busy.
Like, I can't. It's so funny. And when he tries to curl up on the seat.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love you.
That was so
can't
fun. I had so much fun.
You can tell when you read that. But
Yeah.
I was like, I can just imagine you manically laughing at like typing on the PC.
And we needed that. Like, we needed
Oh, yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that. Not to get like too heavy here, but the reality of my life is there's been a lot of trauma, and there's also been a lot of humor, and I needed the humor to like help me walk through the trauma. And so you see that a lot in this book. You're like, oh, really heavy, sad thing, and I kind of want to cry. Oh, but that's actually pretty funny. I'm okay. I can take another chapter. Like that's kind of like, you know, it's real.
We also deal with our trauma with humor here, don't we?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I think it's great you brought that up because I wanted to mention, without any spoilers, definitely Celine goes through something pretty traumatic in the first half of the first book. And I thought the way you wrote that was just like so well done in the sense of like, the way you captured like how mean to herself she was throughout the entire process and also afterwards, because I think like that's something that I don't have the kinds of trauma that she has gone through, but certainly the things I've gone through, I've been the same amount of mean to myself. And I just really identified with that so hard, and my heart was like breaking for her. And really just wanted to be like, be nice to yourself, but like
I know
that. But it was so realistic that you wrote her that way instead of just writing it as like I think sometimes people make the character almost too strong in the moment. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know, I really wanted to portray Celine in a realistic light of like, I think when we're like, oh, strong FMC, we immediately think like she has to have a sword in her hand and she takes nothing from anybody. And like, that's just not realistic. Like the majority of the women that I know are strong. It's because they went through something that they literally could not handle, and they've still come out on the other side. You know what I mean? And so I'm hoping that Celine is portrayed that way. Like her strength, it takes time, and she has to build on that after going through the hard thing, you know?
Yeah. I do have a question. Speaking of like hard things, we were
sorry.
I knew that was coming, and it was gonna be you.
That's what she said.
My question for you kind of mentioned it earlier. You have 3 kids that you homeschool, that you do. How do you fit in writing books like this, and just books in general? Like, where do you find the time to do that?
Do you also narrate audiobooks for other people? Like, I don't know where you find time to do anything.
She's a superhero. Like, what?
The other day I joined her live and she was like, oh, hang on, I'm going to start making bread. What?
Like, what? Sorry.
It's like us in our like hoodies, like a raccoon, like
We're over here like, I haven't had enough gremlin time. It's only been 4 hours.
That is such a great question. I'm asked that all the time, and I feel bad because I think a lot of people are expecting an answer like, well, I'm so meticulously scheduled, and I'm so, and realistically, I live my life with a structure, and it's not a schedule. It's not, no, I'm not scheduled at all. My structure is, how am I taking care of myself? How am I taking care of my husband? How am I taking care of my kids? And so for myself, I know that includes my health, including rest and what I'm eating, and writing is part of that. For me, if I don't have some time to myself to write and be creative, and I'm one of those women, I love to work. I need to work. I need my mind to be busy with adult things and not just like kid things all the time. So that's part of like how I take time for myself is the writing. And so I know like if I'm in a healthy space, I'm going to take care of my husband better in the way that I am like loving him and sacrificing for him. And the same way that I know that he's going to do that same thing for himself. He's going to take time and do what he needs to do. Usually it's just time by himself. And I'm going to be a better mom, and my kids, I think it's really important too, that they see me. Like, I don't separate myself. We're very much like a together family. So, sometimes I'm writing with my laptop where they're playing video games, and I will pause if they want me to read a book or something, because I want them to see that they are more important than this. But this is also like working towards something that you believe in and something that you love. I want them to take that same energy into their adult life. I want them to say like, my family comes first, but like, it's also okay to say no sometimes so that I can work on something that I believe in, something I really want to accomplish for myself. And so I tell my daughter that all the time. She's like, why do you write so much? And just because I love it, honey. Like, I know that I can do this and I love doing it and I want to share that with other people. And so I would like to tell you I have a perfect schedule, but it's not. It's really just about, the days where I don't write, it's usually because I know my family needs the focus. The other day I didn't write. My house was in shambles. My kids were emotional. And I said, you know what? Today is not a writing day because my kids are going to be more important. My husband's going to be more important. And then yesterday I didn't make dinner. I didn't clean anything. The kids got to play on the video games a lot because it's facing the immediate need. And so I'm sorry that I don't have a better answer for you, but I feel like as long as you put the important things first, then you really learn what you can live without. And that's where your time comes in. I can live without extra TV. I can live without reading, for 4 hours a day, as long as I get time in for the things that are really important to me. So.
Are you kidding? That was like a fantastic answer.
I am so sorry, but like, what do you mean that's not a good? I was like,
yeah.
It might just be me being from where I am from, but
I want to applaud everything except the
then.
imposter syndrome in there. Like, girl, what are you talking about? That was fabulous.
Coming from somebody who didn't have like a good parenting model, that made me tear up because
I'm like crying.
I
was our mommy issues. Oh my god!
Yeah, right. Like I was never prioritized in that way, and having your kids see that they are the priority, but also seeing you strive to do what you're passionate about and not being, not seeing themselves as an impediment to your dreams is kind of like it unlocked
me go
this
cry
memory.
in the shower a little bit.
Oh my god, it unlocked this like memory for me because like so like everybody here and on the pod knows like I didn't have a good relationship with my mom, but like we did have a really good relationship when I was really little, and like most of my positive memories of her and memories where she was inspiring to me were when she was doing things that were productive that she loved. Like she really loved sewing, and she actually made like dance costumes for strippers, but she also like made wedding dresses and made all these different things, and she was like so happy when she was sewing, but it was kind of the same thing you're describing with your writing, where like she would stop sewing to talk to me and stuff, but like it was important to her and I knew it was important to her, and also like photography was important to her, and so like these different art forms that she partook in but also turned into businesses. And so like I don't know, like you just like unlocked this, like, because actually like of all the bad memories I have of my mom, those are like the good things. So like you're definitely doing something right. Oh my god, like
you are killing it.
I don't want to like I definitely like I definitely had parents that like loved me, but I was one of 10 kids, and there just is no prioritizing the individual child when there's 10 of you. And that's one thing I always told my husband. I said, if we have kids, if I'm able to have kids, if we have kids, like I want them to know that I see them. And I'm not like, that doesn't mean it's not hard sometimes for me to like put down my writing for them, but like they know that I'll do that. And I think the only way to succeed not as a parent in the way that your kids are raised, but as a parent in like, I enjoy being a parent and loving my kids well, is you have to stop seeing them, because I think it's really easy, especially in current culture. We see them as such, like you said, an impediment to everything we're doing. You're in the way. I'm trying to get dinner made on. And instead, like I bought their kids' knives, they're plastic knives, and they can chop up strawberries with me while I'm prepping snacks for the week. And if I can include them in my life, wherever there's space to include them, wherever it's safe for them to be included, then I don't think it's so hard to find time to do something to yourself, because it's not like I've been neglecting them all day by, taking care of the house, and now I have to neglect them for my writing. I've been including them everywhere else so that I can focus on my writing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I need sofa burrito time.
Oh my god.
Therapy.
I'm gonna talk to my therapist.
My notebook ready to go. Sorry,
this happened.
Like I don't need you anymore, Dimitri. I need to just have to talk to me on the pod every day, every week.
I didn't mean to make it cry.
Okay. Oh my god.
Meanwhile, there's like a riot going outside my door. Anyway.
The trauma.
I thought you were gonna be like, I thought you were gonna be like, well, I take this time of the day for writing, and nope, I
drink this specialty.
Yeah, you've got the secret to life, like in your brain. Okay.
No, I'm not that. I haven't figured it out that well.
If anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be SJ.
Yeah.
100%.
You believe in me.
I had like 5 other questions lined up in my head, and now they've all disappeared because we had our little therapy session.
I know, I'm so
Trauma
sorry.
bonding.
I thought of one. Yes. Okay. Okay, so you talked a little bit about how the different characters represent different emotions for you. Um, but like, are the characters, are they emblematic of any like people in your life, or like where did you get the inspiration for these characters?
Mm.
Because I find for such young characters, Celine and Marius especially, but even the side characters, Quinn and Remy, like have very distinct personalities.
Yeah,
Um,
they do.
so the only one that is okay, well, that's not technically okay. Let me try. I'll start again. Yes, kind of. Um, so Celine is really um her not her full personality, but she is partially based on me in that some people will start reading it and they'll be like, she seems older than she is. And I was told
Mm.
that a lot, but that was kind of like
Mm.
the persona that I wore based on the expectations that my parents had for me. And underneath was hiding a whole bunch of that like naivete and all that fun stuff that would come out at really inopportune moments. Um, so aside from that, I will say that both Remy and Marius have a whole lot of my favorite elements of my husband. And for Remy, obviously, it's that like, yeah, it's
Should I be
that like,
concerned?
yeah. At least it's not Jacques, right? At least they're not Jacques. But
True.
no, but like with Remy, it's the humor and like the joy that he brings to my life. And he's that friend that you need like the moment that you need him. And the side of Marius is more of that, like, a lot of times people do look at him, they're like, is he okay? Like, is he grumpy? And it's like, no, that's literally just like his persona is very laid back and he's very calm. And so he doesn't always have a lot of expression happening. You're kind of always like, what is he thinking behind that mask? You know? And he's a lot of like, he will push you to be like, okay, if you want to do that, go do it. Like, stop whining about it, go do it. And you're like, oh no, I want you to feel bad for me. Like, tell me I'm pretty. But that's not him, you know, like he's very much like your supporter and that like, okay, if you want to do it, like go do it. So both of them have really big elements of my husband in them. Um, yeah, I don't know. Everybody else was just like, I was thinking like, who does Celine need in her life? Who does Marius need in his life? You know, Marius obviously was going to need somebody like Andre that is a little bit looser in the personality. He's not going to be as strict and as tough and as broody and as angry. And so I knew he was going to need somebody like that to keep him human, you know, keep him moral and in some ways at least, and give him some humanity. And so that's kind of Andre's job. But no, I did not really base anyone solely off of one person. So
I kind of love that though, because like bringing in like different aspects of like the people in your life that you love and then people that you've met and people that you've even seen and bringing them all together to mold one person is very smart because you're able to like pick bits that you like and you don't like and then make like almost like a whole new complex character with their own sort of personality and their own way of thinking, and they are like more realistic because they're not exactly like someone that you know in general, because then you don't have
right,
to sit and think and say, oh, I can't let them say that because that person wouldn't say that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah. And the other
I
thing
like
is,
that.
I think when you base a character off of somebody specific, I think that you are a lot more limited in what you're willing to do. Like, would I put them through something really traumatic? Would I put them in a relationship with this person that I don't like for it? You know what I mean? Like, you're very limited.
Yeah.
And so I plan to never ever do that unless I have a very good reason to.
Yeah. So I guess that begs the question. So I'm curious because I know that different writers have a different experience writing. So like, do you find that for you it's about like the plot of what's going to happen and the characters have to like evolve to meet that plot, or is it more like you have this scenario and you kind of have your endpoint and like the character, like for me when I've tried to write before, whenever I've written anything, like I have an idea of what's going to happen, but then like the characters sort of like do their own thing and I can't really seem to escape it. And so I'm curious, like, because you're talking about putting them in all these situations and I'm like, but are like, is it hard to do that, or is it more like it would happen anyway because of who they are? Like, I don't know if that's a coherent question. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think I
Do you
think
feel
I
like the
understand. If I
Sims
answer
god?
it, yeah. So
They're
like
just
I
the
said, like
Sims
it
of
all
the
started
play.
out of that idea, right? Where there were two complex characters. And my whole goal with the characters, I knew there was a general plot, right? Like once I knew it was Mafia, I had a general plot. I knew where it was going to be centered. I knew there was going to have to be, you know, some things for them to overcome. But I wanted, at the end of the day, what I wanted was, I picked the setting, I picked the characters, I picked a general plot, like I very loosely based, like Mafia in New Orleans, slow burn romance. Okay. And then I said, what do I want people to feel when they read this book? That was the question I was answering. And I believe answering that question came through driving it both with the characters and with the plot. Because for these characters, I said, where do I want Celine to go from? She starts here at point A. She's got a lot of shadowed backstory. We know she lost her mom when she was at a young age. She's got a single parent. She doesn't have a lot of family by her side. She struggled with some behavior. So where is she going? Where does she need to get to? What is her issue in this whole story? And it's really that very real thing that we all face, that moral dilemma of the heart and mind, where we decide who we're going to be, not just based on the world around us, but who do I want to be and who do I feel is the right person for me to be. And we war with that. And so I knew that's who she was. And she was the moral dilemma of the story. And Marius, I knew he was the one that went into life thinking he knew exactly what he wanted, and he had to be thrown off course. And when we're thrown off course, where does that put us? You know, what is the journey that he's going to have to go on? And from there, I basically threw them on those courses. And then as I was writing, my characters very much live in my head. When I tell you, like, there are nights where I can't go to sleep because I'm talking with them, and it sounds so dumb and it sounds so weird, but literally, like, sometimes I feel like I'm having conversations with Marius and I'm like, you're literally an idiot. Like, you just, like, stop being stubborn. Stop being stubborn. Like, let's get from point A to point B. Just say it. Well, I can't say it because I know what I'm supposed to be doing. No. You've now got a new factor. Celine is in your life. So what are you going to do about it now that she's there? And I'm just like talking with these characters. And I told my husband like 2 weeks ago, I said, I'm legitimately exhausted. My mind is exhausted because I cannot turn them off. I cannot turn them off.
I've had enough of these
people I
bitches.
made.
The voices.
I know.
God.
The voices.
Wow.
Especially with book 3, because through book 1 and 2, you get a lot of questions. You're like, wait a minute. Wait a second here, ma'am.
Hold on a moment. Yeah.
Exactly. And all of it comes to a head in book 3. And you have to get all of the answers to all of your questions. And, you know, like, we take away the smoke screen from her shadowed backstory. We learn everything, right? And there also has to be a conclusion that, I'm not going to say whether it's happy or sad, but it has to feel like closure, right? It has to feel like closure. I'm not going to leave it open-ended. So
You better not.
Right now, like,
You better not.
so
The anxiety I feel at the moment.
I feel unwell.
in the spirit of
feeling unwell is making me
transparency,
feel
in the spirit of
boy.
transparency, I did not have my ending for sure until about a month and a half ago, because I was warring with two
Shut the
different
front door.
endings. Two different endings. And I kind of, one day I was walking on my treadmill and it just like hit me. I said, this is it. This is how it's going to end. And I immediately went and I like typed it out. And so the ending I have right in front of me. I have the ending right here in front of me. And I said, it has to be closure. There has to be closure. for the reader and for me. Like, as the writer, I want closure. I worked hard on this.
So I have so many theories, and I very
wanna
much
hear
feel like
them. Tell me.
Charlie. I don't think I should, if I'm being honest.
Why? Why shouldn't you?
Because they're spoilery.
They're
Oh.
And I
Kristen
don't want to
hasn't
kill it for you.
read them either, so we're not doing spoilers. Okay, my husband was like, wait, I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, exactly. So we learn a lot about. Well, I say a lot about. We learn something about her
that
background.
makes me feel so much better.
Sorry. So we learn
I
something
have a
about her
question. I'm
background.
curious about this. Yeah.
And okay, I called it. I'm just saying, like, I called it. But I also have a theory that is related to that specific thing that is revealed. And I think I'm right. And if I'm right, I'm confused. And I'm wondering I'm wondering whether the third book, whether she'll come into that, and maybe her perspective on Marius will change as a result. And what he does, should we say.
So this is so interesting because I have a very, very early, very tentative theory that I do not feel comfortable sharing, but
do it because you're
because for the listeners won't know, but I actually did read like 70% of the arc for this book, for the first book, and then life got in the way in that sense, and then I went to go do it again, and life is in the way again. So, but the part of the book that I have read twice now, once after edits, and so there are a few little things that I am picking up on that I didn't really notice the first time around that I'm like, that feels suspicious. So
that's weird.
What's happening? Tell me.
I don't know. I mean, it really might be nothing, but like, it feels weird to me that her dad went on this random fishing trip, to grieve, but then came back at like a different day than he was supposed to, and like, she never seems to know where he's going. Like, I don't know. There are some
You're
things
not
that
the only one to have that theory. I had somebody read it, and after, I think, like, the second that we talked about the dad for the first time, I say we, like, there was anybody else writing, I talked about the dad in the book. She was instantly like, oh, I believe that he's evil. He is bad. I believe it.
I don't necessarily think he's bad. I just think something's going on there.
I think he's very similar to Andre in terms of his position.
I can get behind that.
That would make a lot of sense. Right? That would make a lot of sense.
So what
I'm not saying that's my full theory. I'm just saying that he gives that vibe.
What is your question?
I'm trying to think of how to phrase this question correctly.
Oh dear God.
Let me see. Wait. Okay. Do you think an author can take you through and tell you an entire story in 2/3 of a series and then completely change the narrative for book 3?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you think that's possible?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah,
of course. So why are you asking me that?
we're only seeing the perspective of what Celine understands at that point. So this is her reality, and it's Marius's reality. That doesn't mean that that's the truth, and it doesn't mean that they know the full extent of everything.
I love that. One of my favorite things, and I'm gonna bring her up again, guys. My favorite book from last year, Metal Slugger by Rachel Snyder. She does this thing at the end, and it just like, it had me like just going, what the fuck? Like, the whole thing just flipped, and
it's
it wasn't.
Actually,
It's baffling.
It's my favorite thing in a book, actually, when an author manages to do that, when they manage to take with, like, everything and just like spin it and twist it, and then you're like, whoa, like,
yeah.
Okay.
I love it. I love when that happens. Yeah.
See,
there's a couple characters that you don't meet until book 3, and I can't wait for you to meet them.
I have
That makes sense.
193 pages of the next book, of the last book, on my computer right now, and I'm just like,
Yeah, let me see what the last. I want to see what I uploaded last. Hang on for you. Let me see. I will just say, like, 3, even though it's the first draft, let me tell you, it starts out with a bang. I made AJ cry like 3 times in the first 6 chapters. And it was not my intention,
no.
but yeah, 193
So-
pages. It's so good.
Just to be transparent about, since I'm the slow one here, just to be transparent about where I'm at and where my brain is on all the mysteries so far. It's really like I'm in the part, and I think I can say this without real spoilers because it's obviously a romance book.
Right.
But I'm in the part where like Celine has basically come to terms with the fact that she is into Marius. She's like writing in her diary about it. He is still not really I mean, he clearly likes her, but he's like busy dealing with his business things. But
business things. That's like the nicest way of putting it.
But everything is like so vague. Everything is so vague, and the only 2 things on my mind, like constantly when it comes to the business things, is so far it is really unclear what he's actually doing in New Orleans, like why they really need to be there, like what the details of that is, and it's also really unclear why Celine's dad keeps disappearing, and of course also like what was really going on that she needed to like go to Canada to get away from it.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
I have so many questions about that after reading the second book, because I think there's a thread surrounding that if I remember correctly hasn't been pulled yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say much, but like I'm right, like we know but they don't, right? That's still the like,
yeah, because we get that chapter with that
know.
one character, so we know but they don't.
Yeah, do they end up knowing in the third book?
I don't know. Do they?
In the third book.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
Oh, and
I'm putting it in.
I also clocked that in like the first couple chapters, Marius was like he's supposed to get close to some teenage girl, but then that has not been mentioned again.
It's mentioned in book 2.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
I can't wait to find out what the hell is going on with that.
Like I said, he has a plan. Like he showed up with a plan. Okay, she was not the plan, but she's
Yeah. So I'm getting that vibe. And also, like, it's very notable to me that, like, there's time skips going on that are just kind of not pointed out. So, like, there's little bits where it's like, oh, it's been a few weeks. And oh, I have seen him hanging out with this person or this person. But then, like, we don't ever see any of that happen. And so I'm just, like, sitting here, like, there's a lot of white space. There's a lot of, like, I'm thinking about, the negative space in horror filmmaking where the scariest scenes are actually the one when it's like mostly black on the screen and then there's a person and you're like, what's behind them? Like,
I'm so glad.
What I'm thinking
so
about.
glad you said that, because the epilogue of book 1, I was so grateful you put that in there. I was like, I wanted someone to beat someone's ass and it finally happened. Thank you. And I got to see it, like, detail for detail.
That was perfect.
Like, I got the ass whooping that I was waiting for. Thank you.
When I tell you, I've never written a scene that was more fun than a revenge scene. Oh my Lanta. It's like every bad thought you've ever had that they would put you in therapy for, you're allowed to put it on a page and people love it. It's so fun.
Give me more.
I feel like I really needed that. Like, coming from a place of trauma where, like, I wish I could have done that, because I've been in that situation. And although he did that in revenge, I want to do that, and I never
want to
got
live
do
vicariously.
that. So
and here's
it kind of gave me like this joy.
Here's one thing that I will say, and it's not a spoiler about the scene, Crimson, so it's not like what happens in the scene. But it's really important to me that people understand all Celine knows about that is that he said, I'll take care of it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She doesn't actually know that revenge has been exacted on her behalf.
I was so happy because obviously I know it's a new adult. It's like let's address the elephant in the room. A lot of people think that when you write a new adult, or if you're writing something that isn't YA, that it needs to have smut and spice, which it doesn't.
Mhm.
You know, it has to
Right,
have
right.
dark themes. So I was sat here like, he's in the French Mafia. We need to see him act like he's in the French Mafia. We need to see
Right.
the
I loved
violence.
it any time that he did. Yeah.
And I was just like, thank you.
Yeah, I know, because
Just like, no notes. You ain't.
even though it's obviously to the extreme, the whole thing with Marius, and it's very intentional, Crimson, that you don't know what he does yet. It's very, very intentional. It's very important that you don't know what he's doing, because realistically, a lot of us have ideas in the way that we see people, but we don't know them well enough to understand, like, whether they or we see something about them and we immediately judge them based on, I think they're good people or not good people, or somebody I would like or don't like, but we don't know what's going on behind the curtain, right? We don't know what's behind there, really. And that's the character that he is. We're like, okay, is he good? Is he bad? Can I trust him? Do I love him? Do I hate him? Like, and that's a very real feeling that we all have. And I want this to feel like these are people, again, it's to the extreme because it's French Mafia, but I want it to feel like these are people you could know in real life. You know, I want them to feel like they could be real, like the emotions you're experiencing are very real. Because I think that's what makes me love a book. It's like, these are real feelings. I've had these feelings, you know, like I want to pick that book up again and read it because it makes me feel, and I could be a part of that world, you know? Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
I love that scene. I love it so much.
the inside of your brain. It's so great. I want to like
Live there.
Oh,
hang out in here forever. Yeah.
I can't wait. So, nothing about the scene. Something in book 3. I just call it the laundry room scene. Because I wrote this scene shortly after I started the book when I was just like typing it out on my phone. And I wrote a random scene. I didn't put names in it or anything. And I sent that to my friends right after they had started reading the book. And they were like, no way. Like, I would have them asking like every month or so, like, hey, can't stop thinking about the laundry room scene. And I'm just telling you that getting to finally put that scene into a book for you guys to read is so exciting because I want you to love Marius, right? But like, what if, how do I say this?
The mischievous look on your face right
Yeah,
now.
that's what I was just about to say. The like the evil grin that was coming.
Like,
You're like,
it is so painful to not be able to just like tell you everything right now. I have actually done so good about not doing spoilers for book 3. I just want you to know the person that you meet in the laundry room scene is going to have you rethinking your life. Okay. So you're welcome.
oh my God. Like in
thank you.
in what kind of way? Like if you had to put an adjective to the end of that, like.
Nope. I'm going to leave you there.
Oh my God. If deviousness had a face, it would be you.
okay, let's deconstruct this. So it was the phrase that started was, "I want you to love Marius, but," and then she had a mischievous grin.
But
so
what if?
I'm gonna guess that he's gonna do something or that is more dark and, you know, questions his, you know, integrity as a human being. Shall we say?
That's
maybe.
really interesting because I know that
Well,
you just said, you know, the character that you meet in this scene, and I'm thinking, oh fuck, a love triangle. That was my initial. It's going to be one of the three. The 3 Fs are going to appear. It's going to be, what were it's the fuck, the fear, or there was another one and I can't remember what the other one was. The fight, I think. The fuck, the fear, or the fight, and it's going to be one of those three things.
Hmm.
And that's what that person's going to be. You either need to like want to have sex with them, and you want to be with them, you want to fear them, or you're going to fight with them. One of the
You
three.
say that, but there was that character at the start of book 2.
That's why I
I
based him
didn't
off
see
my husband.
coming.
Did you hear what he said?
What did he
No.
say?
He said fucking and having sex are two different things.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's why he is both Marius and he is Remy.
I love it.
I love Remy.
You guys are gonna love Remy in book 3. You're gonna love him.
I adore him.
I just think like his reactions to things and his humor is just wonderful. I love a funny guy.
He's just like a good guy, isn't he? Like,
Right,
Yeah.
he's
Why
just
we love-
good.
It's why we love
It's just
Riddick. It's why, yeah.
I was about
Exactly,
to
he is
say
Riddick.
My boyfriend Riddick. Yeah.
Yeah.
see, it's funny you say that because I was like, Riddick. And when I was reading, I was like, this is giving like Emmett Cullen.
Yes.
Like, vibes.
Yes.
I do have a question. It's funny. That's
Uh-oh.
a good segue. Thank you. What are your plans after you finish Danger by Association? What are you writing next? What is on the
So,
agenda?
Look at us asking a real podcast question.
Look at us.
I know, right?
You.
Thriving. How are we still around?
I love it. The chaos makes sense to me. I love listening to you guys. I listen to it when I'm feeling very chaotic. I don't know what that is. Whatever. Anyway, so my
it
plans,
helps.
and I have so many of them. Okay. I'm going to be writing a pirate sci-fi next. I was actually maybe working a little bit on
Please.
chapter 1 today because I'm so excited, and it's going to be such a good time. You guys have no idea. You have no idea.
Okay, do
I'm
you see what I mean?
sold.
Because
Done.
earlier I was like, how did you come up with French Mafia in New Orleans? That's so unique. And you had this whole like crazy, wonderful, like beautiful explanation. And now you're just throwing out, yeah, the next thing's just a pirate sci-fi. Like as if
Are we
that's...
talking like space opera kind of vibes?
No, do you want
Is
to know?
that
Can I
what
tell you the
we're-
premise? Is that okay?
Go for it, babe.
Yes,
Yeah.
Because
please.
I
So this
love
is
a
about,
pirate, so
Like, synopsis
love
stuff
that.
here. No big spoilers, okay? This is like in the synopsis. So our girl, we find out she's like early to mid 20s, okay? So this is not like a 15-year-old over here. And basically she's been dating this guy for a while who she met at the Renaissance Fair, and she loved him. They got engaged and life is going good, right? They're going to get married soon. Bam, she finds out he's been playing her this whole time. He works for this lab that has been working on time travel, and she is the test subject that was chosen, okay? And so he's actually had to be with her, like they live together, and he's been preparing her this whole time, like putting stuff in her food, getting her body ready for time travel. And they basically, there is an event that happens, okay, that suddenly it has to happen right now because otherwise her body could be too damaged to do it in the future. So timeline's been pushed forward, okay? She's about to be sent into the past to investigate or to be a part of something, won't say that they want her to see and be a part of and find out if it's real or not. And she has no idea, okay? They basically have this whole plan for when she's going to go, when they're going to bring her back. So it's been escalated. All these big people are there that are supposed to be there for this whole momentous occasion. Tornado comes through. No joke. They have nowhere to hide. She's strapped to a table because she's about to be sent into the past against her will. Okay. No joke. Okay. I promise. And, so at
This is
the last minute,
spoiler-free version.
yeah,
Okay.
the dude that has been with her this whole time has a little bit of a change of heart. So goes to unstrap her. They got to hide somewhere. Tornado's coming through. They jump in the pod. They go to the past. And there you are. Pirate, golden age of piracy.
You can't leave it there.
what?
That's like the worst edging possible. What?
I'm so excited. So I actually wrote disclaimer. At the same time I was starting The Price of Innocence and The Price of Protection, I actually was writing this alongside with it. So I basically have almost an entire first draft of this book.
Can I have it?
When can we?
Yeah.
When
Come
can we
on.
read it?
So there's that.
Come, care to share, babe?
When?
I mean,
What's your
when this
email
is
password?
done. Yeah. I purposely do not keep my drafts under my work email because just in case anything would happen.
Crimson, you can hack, right?
Sure.
I can learn.
You could learn.
Oh no, a leak to me.
So after that,
damn.
I have
I really
after
should have
that,
gone into cybersecurity.
I have a hopefully again standalone, but it will probably be a duology. I finally have a fantasy idea. And I mean, there's going to be dragons, there's going to be vampires, there's going to be the main guy's name is Petey because that's so fun. And he's going to be like the biggest ray of fun sunshine you've ever met in your life. And she's going to be
Love
grumpy.
Yes.
It's a whole good time. Dragons are like in charge in the whole deal. I know it, right? So after that, I have a 4-book dystopian fantasy planned. And I'm so excited about it. Like all the political intrigue. It's going to be like dark academia vibes. It's going to be fun. So
what are you
Sign
doing
me
to me right now? Like, because
guys,
I know
we
I
have
to
our
wait
future
for
book
these things.
TBRs planned for ages.
So,
set.
What are you like estimating then as the release schedule for this stuff? Because this is like you're planning so far in advance.
Yeah.
Like, are you planning like a book a year almost? Like, is that the vibe that's happening now?
So my goal, and it will, who knows how that will change based on life. I would like to be able to put out a book about every 9 to 10 months.
Wow.
Then sometimes I'll have books like in the same year, but not only will it keep me motivated to write, but I feel like people will like, if it takes me 3 years to write a book, you lose a lot of momentum as an author, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. So that's my goal, but I'm not holding it myself to it. Like I would kill myself to get it done, you know? But that is like my goal, just so I have something to work for. And as long as I have plans, then anytime that I do have downtime, I can be working on like backstory for these other stories and like always have something to do. You know what I mean? So if I don't feel like writing, there's still other things I can be doing. I have a lot of like, I actually just accidentally wrote a character into book 3 for like 3 lines that I think is eventually going to need his own like side romance story. He's Irish.
I was
mob.
literally gonna ask, would there be a spin-off series?
I don't know about a whole spin-off series, but it's at least gonna need a book because this man walked in and I was like, I like you a lot. I don't know where you came from, but we're friends now. So yeah.
I love a good Irish man.
I'm telling you what. Yeah. So that happened. But I also like, I never thought I'd be one of those people that added stuff like after the fact, after I finished a series. But I have quite a few things written down. Like if I ever wanted to write a novella of like short stories, like things that happened in the white space of like book 1 that you were referring to, Crimson. Like there's one like time in book 2 that Celine refers back to something that happened, just like a funny thing. And I was like, I could literally write that scene. Or well, I won't say more than that because there's a whole lot of things I could write about. Yeah. So I have stuff like that that I could always do. Yeah.
There's a few things I would love to see.
The movie, like
the movie, the sweat.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Also, like I would love to see, and I don't because we haven't quite seen it. Like, how did the conversation go between Remy and Marius when Remy decided where he was going with his life?
Yeah.
Like, I need to know how that happened and that went down. Like, I'm so like curious to how that like how did Remy know or find out, and then how did he then get there?
You're only the second person to ever bring that up. And I was like, fine.
I need to know.
But here's the thing. Think about Remy's parents. He's got like a judge and a lawyer for parents. which means he's been around this all his life, and he's constantly hearing them talk about behaviors and people and like criminals. And so he is already attuned to a lot of the things. Like you said, he's very blunt with Marius about, hey, that's not normal. So you would think that he is already very aware of things that are not normal. So somebody was like, well, did it just happen out of the blue? Like, did Marius just tell him? And I was like, he would already have been kind of aware that there are things happening.
In my head,
you know what I mean?
I'm like, Remy probably got to the point of their friendship and confronted Marius more than anything. But I need to know what was said for then Remy to go, actually, yeah, okay.
Doesn't that make you wonder? Doesn't that make you wonder what Marius does that's worth joining?
But like, you're a little suspicious.
Stop it.
Where you're just teasing us like right now. Like,
See, you say that, but I also kind of got the gist of what he did.
You think
due
so,
to the cupboard. Because of the cupboard.
That is the first person that's ever said anything about that. Thank you.
Man, I can't wait to find out about this cupboard. Like, oh
I
my
can't
God.
even remember the cupboard. Where did the cupboard come in?
I'm gonna be looking for it.
When is the cupboard?
Don't say it. Don't say it. No.
Yeah,
no.
Don't say it. Don't say
I
it.
told you I'm good at picking apart plot lines.
Yeah,
it's in book 2, right? Yeah.
Actually, I think that's like what's so interesting about us as a trio is we all tend to pick up on different little threads. So together we're like a power team of.
We are.
Yeah.
This was so fun for me. I love this part where I'm like, because there's so many things. There's so many. And okay, this is going to be totally out of the blue. Totally random thought, but I had to write a scene that made me think of it. Have you seen that scene that's gone around? It's been on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok where there's like the dude who's got like tattoos down the back of his neck and he's dressed nice. And there's the woman who just like puts her heel up on his chest and he like ties the shoe for her and then like kisses her foot.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that? I had to write a scene for book 3. I had to do it. I was like, I can't stop thinking about that. So you're welcome.
Can't wait.
That's the only spoiler.
I love a moment like that.
I'm so excited.
So good. It's so good. And just, I can't. There's so many things I wish I could say. Crimson, when life allows, I'm going to need you to keep reading because we have things to talk about.
Oh, I'm going to keep reading tonight. Like, I can't stop now. Like,
you need to get on this so we can scream.
Yeah. We need to.
And Molly, we need to talk about this cupboard.
I mean, we can talk about the cover.
I clearly missed that somewhere.
Towards the end of the book, towards the end of the book, the girls find the cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say more
there's
than
something in the cupboard.
The closet, maybe. I don't know if you go by cupboard or closet.
Something that belongs to them, but there's more than what belongs to them.
Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
By the way, because I have no idea what you're talking about, I'm just making this into euphemisms in my head. Like, this is just one joke.
It's in the cupboard.
Yep.
Yeah. There has to be a reason he has a rival, right?
It's not hers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And nobody has picked up on that yet until now. Nobody at all. So they're all like, in book 3, I have no idea where this is going.
Oh. I have a thought. I can't say it on here, but I have a thought.
The shoe dropped.
I mean, I will neither confirm nor deny. Like, you're going to definitely have to read book 3 for me to confirm that for you, but.
And on that note, no.
Yeah.
I know Molly can just go, you actually get a lot of the answers towards the beginning there, Molly.
Oh my God,
I better get all of the comments, though. All of them.
I will give you so many, and I ain't saying shit to you two.
No!
Hey! After all we've been through?
Friendship over.
Look, I've signed a contract by opening this document. I'm sorry, guys.
It's true. It's
True.
true.
It's okay. We'll forgive you. I do have a question for you. Because I mean, I'm gonna start making this a tradition. Because I did it with Sophie when we had Sophie on the podcast. I have a fuck, marry, kill situation for you. Fuck, marry, kill. Remy, Marius, Andre.
Okay.
No.
That's crazy though. Andre?
Yeah.
Smash. Raw.
Raw.
Next question.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I broke her.
You put her to
Broke
pickle.
her. We
It's
actually
the kill
broke her.
one. It's the kill one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for reasons I cannot tell you.
Knowing what we
Because-
know in book 2, what would you do this?
What you know
I
in
have
book
an answer. Yeah. Like where book 2 ended.
No,
not what's
I think
coming
knowing what
next.
she knows. Like knowing what she knows.
In that order of go Marius, Remy, Andre. I have to. There's just no other option for me. There's no other option for me.
Oh, I'm stressed.
I think I would swap. Where we are now, I'm swapping Andre and Marius.
I knew it, but knowing what I know, you cannot. You cannot.
I
I'm
would.
gonna
I
go
don't-
cry.
Okay.
Me neither.
The result of this game.
It's hard.
Spice is enough. The tradition is over.
That's what
This is
she said.
hard. What would you do? What would you do, Molly?
I'd
I'm
marry
thinking.
Remy.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I'd probably
Would-
fuck Andre and kill Marius. I'm sorry, like, I'm not saying he's not a great
Oh.
character, but I'm not emotionally attached to Marius.
Yep, that's okay.
I have the same feeling right now. I'm not as emotionally attached to him. I'm really emotionally attached to Remy though. So Remy's, I'm like, but Marius seems like he'd be good in bed. So I'm like, I don't know. But then I'm killing Andre and I really love him. So
Okay. I'm
I'm
gonna
sad.
be the cheesy dark romance girly. I'm gonna marry Marius. I just love a protective, like, I don't know, like he's vibing for me right now. So I
So,
think
wait.
Mary.
Go ahead first.
But again, I know almost nothing comparatively. I'm still in the mystery of it all. So marry Marius. Fuck Remy and kill Andre. I'm so sorry. I hate that I said that out loud.
I know, isn't that horrible? I'm gonna add a mystery character for you guys. Ready? Only by his name. Let's exclude Andre for the moment. And even though you don't know him, his name is Raphael.
Oh.
He fucks.
Immediate
Yeah.
But then who would you kill though?
Still Marius.
Yeah.
Molly, I knew who you would. I knew it. I knew you were gonna say that.
It's not even like I don't like a bad guy, like bad
I'll just
boys.
like toss a coin. I can't decide.
You'd be like, right, which one of you is gonna get the 1 minute, let me get up Google.
I legitimately think
See
that
what
one
happened
of
to
the
Marius?
times. I legitimately think that one of the times one of my alpha readers cried in book 3 was because they were like, ma'am, am I supposed to choose? Am I supposed to choose between these men? I'm sorry.
I'm so upset.
I like a good boy choose.
Yeah. Why should we choose?
Why
That's a good
choose,
question.
babe?
Oh, ma'am. You have no idea. Is it a wide choose? Is it?
I hope this isn't another Ali Reed's fucking around situation.
Oh my
Okay.
god. Yeah.
They're brothers, and these two are really good
Oh my
friends.
god. Emmy, okay, I think we need to bring up the book for
We do.
reference.
We really
Just-
do.
I've got it right here somehow. So Emmy decided to read Pucking Around, whose cover, for those watching and for SJ, it looks like this, right?
By
This
the
is
way,
the
Emily
cover.
Rath is a freaking icon.
She is an
So
icon.
if
We
anyone
love
isn't
her.
following her, needs to go and give her a follow because she
Go right
deserves
now.
everything. And she's a doctor.
no.
Slay.
Oh, Crimson's turned her mic off. No, not her mic, her camera.
Yeah, it does that sometimes. So this is the cover. Seems pretty clear to me what this is about. Emmy thought
The two in the middle were siblings.
yeah.
So that's her brother.
No, wrong.
No,
The
you
one
said
that
you said the one with the chest with
The-
the hand on
the
her
one
chest was
in-
with her brother.
Yeah, and he's dating the one on the right.
Right.
So
And then
she
she's
thought
dating the one
she
on
was
the
dating the one on the
Because
left.
that is a perfectly reasonable way to touch your brother.
Yeah.
I don't have a brother. I don't know what these things do.
I have 5 of them.
Emmy.
And no.
You don't do that.
Yeah, I was like, I have 2 brothers, and if I accidentally touched them like that, thinking they were someone else, I would have a meltdown and never look at them again. Like, there's no way.
They would
But-
also give you like the noogie from hell or a wedgie
my
I'd be like,
God.
or
what?
literally anything.
Well, no, I'm the oldest,
Son.
so actually they would probably like offer me their arm for an Indian burn. Like they would be like, you have to bully me to make this better.
It just wasn't
Yeah.
what I expected. I don't know what I thought I was going into, but it
Yeah,
You know,
wasn't
you know
that.
that
she's
TikTok
reading.
sound that was just like dick, 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 dick. That.
Yeah.
That's her
So
reading.
she's reading. Keep in mind that Emmy is the one on the pod who self-proclaims that she's not that into spice. So she starts reading this Why Choose Hockey romance, and we're both over here like, it's kind of weird that she wants to pick that up, but okay. And then
she sends
like,
me a copy.
yeah.
I sent Crimson a copy too.
Yes, I have this from
these
her.
two need to read it.
I'd like to point out this was before I read it.
Yeah,
So
just a nice wholesome read along.
and she's in the Discord just like, you guys, she's with all of them. We're like, yeah, babes, that's kind of the whole point of a Why Choose. Like,
It's like there's a lot of sausage going on. Like, no shit, Emmy. Yes, there is.
and then our other friend was like, yeah, that's why there's so many pages. That's how you fit in all the pickles.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out, right, I like a bit of spice. Like, see, like, Zayden in Fourth Wing. That's, like, the perfect amount of spice for me. To the point where I'm, like, tee-hee, red in the face, but also, like, it's not, like, aggressive.
Right.
It's so easy to make Emmy blush as well. It's hilarious.
It's so fun. Yeah.
I finished Pucking Around, though. I finished the book.
No, you ate it up. Like, you read it so
She
fast.
loved it. She read it in like 3 days.
I
It's
skipped
that.
a lot of the scenes. As soon as it got extra spicy, I was like, I love the tension. I love the breaking of the tension. And skip. And they'd be
So
reading,
she like skipped like
Yeah.
70% of the book.
There was also no plot. Once they'd all met each other and they all
What
started
was-
fucking, there was no plot. until the
Yeah,
very end of the
that's
book.
what smut's about, babe. Like,
Just pickles.
I thought it was gonna be
Just
like, I
pickle.
love hockey romance. That was not what I signed up for.
what was the
here's-
book
I
last
like-
week
I
that you
like
were
the
like,
book
maybe
smut,
I'll read
but
it?
with my plot, you know?
What, last week's book that I was like, maybe I'll read that.
Yeah,
I
you were like,
remember.
maybe I'll read that, and I was like, there's really no
Morning
point.
Glory Milking Farm.
Yes.
Oh my god,
Yes.
that's been everywhere. I won't read it because I have no interest, but the
excellent.
amount of people that have read it.
It's
Crazy.
excellent.
I don't like
It's
it.
excellent.
Well,
The plot,
what's funny?
the world building. Iconic.
What's funny is we will describe the raunchiest, like craziest monster smut, but we'll describe the world around it too, and like how cute it is, and people will be like, "Oh, maybe I'll read that," and we're like, "You're not gonna like it. It's like
Right.
90%
This
smut
is like
scenes."
the Christmas. What was the Christmas one?
And she's
Mine
like,
was
"Oh, I'll skip those," and I'm like, "Then you won't be reading a book."
Which
Right,
one?
exactly.
The Dear Monster Claus? Dear Monster Claus.
Oh yeah, that was
we're
Yeah.
not discussing the other one that I read.
Sacked Slade.
Oh god,
Awful.
Yeah,
I
well,
was the guinea pig for this.
Oh
Okay,
no.
well,
You
wasn't
read
on
ahead,
purpose.
babe.
That was
Who
you.
let me?
we didn't know.
We had no idea. We were just like, this looks festive. Let's try it. Wasn't
The
festive.
fact is, like, I did finish it. And Alex had to hold me for, like, I was traumatized. There's too much sex and dead bodies. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, yeah, the Dear Monster Claws one, it was really cute, and I loved, like, the world they were in that wasn't interested in the story.
All the tinsel. She wasn't there for the tinsel.
Well,
Um,
I mean, I have done the tinsel thing, but not the way they did it.
With actual tinsel.
Here's the thing.
Yeah. I've also done it with fairy lights.
Sounds itchy.
Does
I
suck.
think I've lost the
the
context
fairy
of...
lights were better.
Mm.
Anyway.
Okay. My only concern.
Anywho. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. Okay?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Even though you're early on in the book, and you two have finished book 2, both have finished it, right? I know Molly finished it. I mean, you said you did finish it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any, if you had to right now pick an ending for our characters, what would the happy ending look like? Because I found that people are like, I need a happy ending, but not everybody answers what a happy ending looks like the same way.
I'm not sure, because the decision that Celine makes at the end of book 2, it felt like she was pressured to make that decision. As in, from what we saw, I felt like it wasn't wholly her. So, in terms of like a happy ending, I just want her to find her own independence, shall we say? But also be informed of what is going on, like the full nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want her to be able to. I am not even saying I want her to end up with Marius. Like, I want her to be happy. Well, find freedom in herself, and that she is informed of all of the decisions that have been made, informed of what has happened previously, and comes to accept what has happened to her and what she's done, because she's not fully aware of what happened previously when she was in New Orleans. So I would be intrigued to know and see that.
I think for me as a reader, I don't really care about happy endings. Like, I am not, like, I want whatever, because this has been such an emotional roller coaster from start to finish. I want that to continue. I want something big to happen. I want there to be like a betrayal, or I want it to be like she knew about this all along and she's been pulling the strings and making everyone think that she doesn't know a fucking thing, or like I want something like twisty to happen, and as long as there's something twisty, I'm good.
Like catharsis.
Yeah, I just need something like I need another roller coaster to happen.
So for me, at my like very early place, given the genre, given like what little I know, and given my theories, which is basically just that she's already adjacent to this world at the minimum, or involved in it without even knowing, I also see her like actively choosing not to know things, actively choosing not to. So for me, it's like, I want her to decide to know, and to decide. I want her to find her power. So I think that's a little bit maybe going to end up adjacent to what Molly is saying. Like, I want her to like really just come into her own and be the most badass version of herself, because you can see it in her that she has like this incredible strength. And so I just want to see that like on display. And then, like somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, like what if they just like move to France and she just becomes this badass mafia boss queen? Like, I'm fine
See,
with that.
you said
Yeah.
that there was a bit of that. You could see that was recognized by at least one of the characters, namely Avril. She kind of, when she first meets her, she's like, oh, like this girl is different.
Mm,
Have you met Avril Crimson?
not yet. I don't
That's
think.
just Marius's mom. It's not a big deal. It's just she's just Marius's mom.
Oh, yeah, but not very much, like briefly.
Yeah,
and
right.
she so far is really interesting. Like, so the bits that I've seen from Marius's childhood and his parents is like, it's very indicative of like, he doesn't know what normal is. Like, his family is not like their version of family, and love is like kind of warped a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I like to ask because one, I like to see where my writing is directing people, but also like I like to know what people hope for. Like, because if I want to make this realistic, I'm not going to change the story to fit what people want, but I also want to know what feels realistic to people while we're heading in this,
But also, are me and Crimson right?
Yeah.
Let me just tell you all the answers forever right now.
Oh, amazing! Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted.
Good.
Anything I can
like this.
Yeah, well, because I also think like, since we talked a bit about how the story is partially rooted in like how somebody responds to trauma and how they grow from that trauma, like I think everybody in this room has experienced some trauma in their life, and I think that like a huge part of who we are now is shaped by that, and also shaped by like deciding to be strong in the face of that, and that looks different for everybody. And so I think anyone who's been through that is gonna want to know like how Celine like processes everything that's going on, and what that does to her, and like how she ends up as a, like, more than her romance with Marius. Like, I want to know like how this shapes her as a human and how she comes out on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Uh-oh.
Oh my god, that little face. Oh my god.
What do you mean? I'm not doing anything.
Lies and blasphemy.
Yeah.
Tears.
It's like the angel halo emoji, like in a person right now. But like the way that I use that emoji, where I'm like, what?
We know that it's not
Never.
angelic
I would
in
never
any way,
do
shape, or form.
anything mean. Yeah. Well, I do, Emmy, just so you know, I add some twists, and obviously just for you. Just for you.
Yeah.
I love the twisties.
For me.
We all love twisties.
I love a twist.
I'm excited to see whether I'm right, and then I can show you the screenshot of my notes from the arc, because
That
like
would be
I
good.
was highlighting and adding notes and be like,
Yeah. This is actually why I'm reading it on my Kindle instead of reading my physical copy, because it's easier to take notes like in the Kindle app, and like, yeah.
and I have them all. Like,
plus I have KU.
I can pull my receipts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We have to show each other that we figured it out.
I do give you closure. I promise closure. That's all I promise.
That means nothing. That means nothing.
That means trauma.
Yeah.
But
we used
it means
to
I'm
it,
not going to
so
leave it
it's okay.
open-ended, right? I'm not going to leave it open-ended.
Yeah.
To your
But also,
interpretation.
That's one thing I don't like. I don't like an open-ended book.
But I also like that you're
No.
not like, it's a dark world with a promised happily ever after. I hate that. It's like, don't ruin for me.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
I know people
We
who are
like
like, I'm
it.
only reading that's happily ever after. And I'm like, well, you're going to have to read it to find out, I guess. I don't know, like, what else to tell you, so.
Yeah. Well,
we like when it's dark.
Yeah, because like if it's dark, but you've already told me that they end up happy, it's like, okay, well, but now there's no stakes. So
Right,
yeah.
exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad that I got to be on here today. You guys are a whole bunch of chaotic fun. It's a good time.
It's always chaos on here.
It's mostly chaos.
I'm so glad you had fun because it is mostly
Yeah, we had fun.
full chaos.
It's been so nice having you.
We had fun.
And we're definitely going to have you back to talk about your experience with narrating, because you were reading your synopsis at the start and I was just like, it's like listening to an audiobook.
I know. It's crazy.
It's a good time. Yeah, I would love that. And by then, maybe book 3 will be out and we can talk pirates.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I love pirates.
I am a pirate girly.
All right, so how we typically kind of wrap these things up is we talk a little bit, just real briefly, about what we are planning to read this week. So I will be continuing to devour the very end of The Price of Innocence, and then I will be moving swiftly on to The Price of Protection.
And then Iron Flame?
And I'm probably going to read some Monster Smut. So that's where I'm at right now. Sorry. Actually, I've been thinking about reading Scythe and Sparrow, which is the last book in the Ruinous Love trilogy, especially because Bryn Weaver just announced a new trilogy.
That looks really good.
Yes.
Yeah. So I haven't got to buy anything new in a while, and technically I'm allowed to buy that one because it is part of a trilogy I already own. So
treat yourself.
I could go to the bookstore, which I have not done. I have been so good. I've been so good about buying books. Like I instituted a book buying ban at the beginning of this year, and the rule was I can't buy anything if it's not part of a series I already own, unless I get through like half of my TBR, my physical TBR, which is right at 100 books right now. And I have not broken it. Oh, okay, that's a lie. I broke it once to buy the Night Court editions. But technically, I do already own ACOTAR, so it's more of a collecting thing.
And how are you justifying the Illuma crate?
Nobody asked you, Molly.
That was a low blow, Molly.
Justifying the Illuma crate because she'd be buying a copy anyway.
I did not invoke a book buying ban because I know I have no self-control, so it's fine. I'm not one to judge. I don't judge.
Listen, that's my favorite fan fiction of all time.
I know, babe.
And I will make no excuses because it needs none. That's how I feel about that.
Exactly. You're going to have a whole shelf just full of them.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Is that the result of your book buying ban, Emmy? Is that what we're looking at?
The book buying ban for me, we'll not discuss.
What are you reading this week?
What am I reading this week? I am going to finish Heir of Fire.
Hey.
Because I need to. Because that I'm setting like a this is what you have to read this month for the pod. My most of my TPR is like here. So actually I'm probably, although I've read like half of these.
You've read a good number of those just looking at them.
So like these two and these two were very much, and Heavenly Bodies, Quicksilver, and The Serpent and Wings Night Geology. I pulled those off because I wanted them to be cute in the background.
Naturally,
yeah. See, down the Rose Bargains at the very bottom, so I'm going to read that this month. So that'll probably come next. And then I'd really like to read Water Moon, which is this one. It's at the top. Because it's what I want to read. So I think I'm probably going to read I need to read The Rose Bargain. I want to read this one, but my other choice is that I want to read another couple of books in Zodiac Academy because I need to read book 5 and 6 are the next two that I need to pick up. So I might do that. I don't know. I haven't really decided. Alex's parents are going away this week, so whenever I cook dinner in the evenings, I'll have lots of free time to read. And this weekend I'll be reading a lot this weekend. So who knows? I don't know. What about you, Suze? What are you going to read this week?
So I've had Sky Shade out on my side table for like the last couple days, and every time I think I'm gonna read, I like look at it and I'm like, So I think I'm going to just go ahead and pick up the next book in the John Gwynne series. And after that, I'm gonna get into a couple of my indie author books that are on my list. I've got to read the second one I don't remember what the series itself is called, but the first one is called To Bind Fire. The second one is called To Bind the Court. They're fantasy YA. So I'm going to do the second one in that. And then speaking of, they're just totally random. It is technically monster romance. Okay, technically paranormal. But it's not like super smutty. And I actually thought it was kind of adorable. It's called Hallowed. And it's like a headless horseman, Sleepy Hollow fantasy retelling. I thought it was adorable. He's like a monster with Regency manners, and I thought he was absolutely adorable.
Oh.
So as I'm looking at my indie author books, I was just thinking, it's cute. It's like the cutest monster romance. So I don't know what that says about me, but there's that. So John Gwynne, but
Wait, did
Yeah.
someone else find a monster romance that
For
ended
Emmy.
like?
Yeah.
We've been searching
We've
far
been
and wide
trying.
to find one that she would be into, because most monster smut is like the whole point is
Smut.
it's really weird smut, and
Right.
like that's not really
Weird
Emmy's thing.
peens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been trying
really
to find the
cute.
magic of monster smut.
It's got a lot of tension. I think it has spice at the end, but I don't even remember because I just remember how adorable it was, like when they met, and I was
I
like,
don't mind like a bit of spice.
Yeah, I
Emmy
think it has
loves
some
the
in it, but I don't
tension.
remember.
I
Yeah.
love it.
It's a good
I just
time.
don't like the weird penises.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right here.
Which is
So
like
let me
the
just
whole
grab
reason
one.
I'm reading. So
Yeah,
I'm over
exactly.
here like, oh, there's a tentacle? How many? Like, yeah.
Like so many in the first Lillian Lark.
Yeah.
Oh,
So don't read those. Oh,
don't read
looks
that
cute.
one.
Oh, that
Ooh.
does look cute.
It's so cute. It's Hallowed by Jessica S. Taylor, a Sleepy Hollow reimagining. It's really cute.
Ooh.
I love it. I love
I'll
it.
add it to the list.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I read it around Halloween, but I would reread this anytime, honestly. If I needed a good palate cleanser.
There we are.
Amazing.
Crimson. What are you reading, Crimson, this week?
Crimson already said.
I already said.
Yeah. I'm so tired, guys.
Molly's the one left.
Molly.
Hi.
What
Just
are you reading
me.
this week?
I am going to finish what's it called? Married to the Devil by Lillian Lark, probably tomorrow now. Then I'm gonna catch up because I'm like 5 chapters behind on Queen of Shadows. But I'm having a good time. After that, I'm not sure. I'm gonna be perfectly honest because mood reader.
You're gonna be alpha reading.
I am going to be
Molly.
alpha reading. I am.
Hi, Molly.
Yes,
Hey,
my darling.
Molly.
Yes.
Metal Slinger, please.
Bite me.
I will.
Well,
Don't
don't
tempt
tempt
her.
me with a good time. I do have a couple of audiobooks through the library. So I've got Gallant by V. Schwab, Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey, and then I've got a couple more to come through. But I don't know. Because I'm rebinding The Love Hypothesis, and I've literally just read Ali Hazelwood straight at the beginning of the month, the last month, I'm kind of tempted to reread The Love Hypothesis again because it's my favourite. And I do. It gives me the warm fuzzies.
You're binding.
I could. Exactly that. So, yeah. We'll see. I will update you in the next pod as to what I've decided. We'll see what happens.
Okay, well, thank you, S.J, for coming on. It's been really, really nice having you. And thank you to the girlies for chatting as always. If anyone is looking for any of our links, any of our socials, any of S.J's socials, they'll all be linked in the bio below. You can obviously find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube is linked there as well. Or if you want to find us on Instagram or Threads, you can come hang out with us there as well. But thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in next week's episode. See you in a bit.
Bye, babes.
Bye.